Hello, 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 everybody. It's Robin from Roaming with Rover. How is everybody tonight? I was just going to put this up here and just double check that we're showing live videos. Oh, I never put the picture up this week. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. So, hello, everybody. How are you? And we want all messages, not just top messages. We have absolutely stunningly beautiful weather today. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited that we finally are getting some nice weather. We've got some sunshine. Oh, you know, I love the sunshine. And well, hello, Miss Karen. I haven't heard from you in such a long time. We were just talking about you the other day. So, yeah, it's got a lot of beautiful weather. And I think we're finally to the point where we're going to keep the beautiful weather. So that's going to be very, very good. Very good. I am tidying things up. I've got bags all over the place with projects in them. And so I just thought this would be a very good time to just kind of go through the bags and roll up some projects, frog some projects that I'm not going to be working on anymore. Getting ready for the trip. I'm ready for the trip. So that's going to be nice. Very much looking forward to that. Oh, I am very much looking forward to that. Hello, Miss Amy. So nice to see you. Found a box of stitch markers. I'm always looking for stitch markers. I'll put those in my next bag. I'm sure I told you guys that I was going to be taking that Falling Leaves shawl on the trip with me, and I've started it, but it's kind of it's over here in a bag that isn't not a good travel bag. Where is it? Where's my project? Here it is. So I've got just a little tiny bit of it done, just getting started. I basically wanted to get the bottom of it started so that on the ship I would be raring to go. So I needed to clear out a bag to take that. And I think I'm going to put it in this bag because it's big enough because remember this is my regular size skein of yarn, but this is my giant skein of yarn. So I need room in my project bag for the giant skein of yarn. So that's what's going on with that. And of course I'm using my clover. I think they call this the Clover Soft Touch. I can't remember, but I like them because they're flat. So when I lay them down, they don't roll, and I just like the way they feel in my hand. Even though they're little, if it was a half an inch longer, it would be the absolute perfect hook in the whole wide world. But I still think it's the best hook. So there is that. So what are you guys all up to? I'm doing good, Amy. I assume you guys all had a chance to see my most recent video. And so y'all know what's going on with that. It's a lot. But yeah, we're doing okay. I am going to, repurpose this Sasquatch yarn into something else. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but I'll find something for it. And we'll go from there. So what are you guys working on, Miss Karen? I haven't heard from you in a while. How are you doing? Hope everything's okay in your world. What are you working on? Oh, by the way, Miss Cheryl, I'm not sure. I did not talk to her today. She's having some health issues, so she may or may not be with us this evening. I talked to her yesterday, but she also could have just forgotten. She's got a lot going on. So we will give her a lot of grace. Anything she needs. Anything she needs. Yeah, it's quite a shocker. Um, Kind of came out of the blue. It wasn't something completely unexpected because my sister's health has not been good for a number of years. And so I always knew that the time would come when that would be a thing. However, it was still a surprise. You know what I mean? Even though you're expecting it, it's still somewhat of a surprise when it actually does happen. So it's been a lot. We've been doing the last 2 weekends, we've been doing going out of business sale. And oh my gosh, she's got so much stuff. So much stuff. The whole basement of that place was full of things. And so we've had a lot of folks coming in and buying that stuff. And then now I pulled all of the Cascade yarn. I had a couple people asking about the Cascade. I pulled all the Cascade yarn and it's still available on the website. And I'm going to have other things on the website too, more so than I've had in the past because now that's my only outlet. So be watching for new stuff to get put up there all the time. But so everything that was not Cascade got put for sale, clearance sale, basically in the shop. So I got through a lot of it. Got through because you guys know I don't have room here. I have a tiny little house and I don't have any extra rooms or anything. We're actually packing stuff up and shoving it into the motorhome right now, and it is a nightmare out there. So my most, I don't want to say recent, that's not the right word. My most immediate plan is to get things listed onto the website, and I'll be loading things up onto eBay. I always get eBay and Etsy confused, but you guys know how awful it is to work with Etsy. So I'll be loading up things on eBay, and I also have a site on We Imagine. If you guys haven't gone to We Imagine, you should check it out. It's a really, really nice site. It is for, it's kind of what eBay was in the beginning, where everything has to be handmade, and eBay says they're a handmade site, but we all know it isn't. It is, in fact, when you register to sell on there, you have to send them screenshots of you making your items. You have to send them pictures of the items you're making. It has to be handmade. So it's a really good site for people that are truly looking for handmade products. So I do have an account with them. I've never listed anything just because right about the same time, hello, Miss Christina, right about the same time that I got set up with them is when we opened the store. And so all of my energy went into doing that. So, but it's time to shift gears. Hello, Miss Linda. How are you? So glad you made it in. So yeah, all of my energy went into the store. And so I really have not done anything with We Imagine or eBay or Etsy or any of those other sites. So at this point, I'm slowly listing a couple of things on eBay just to kind of learn how to do it. And then I will post things on the We Imagine site because I could put all my earrings up on there, where I just don't feel like my earrings are going to be something that sells well on eBay. I mean, they might. What do I know? But I was going to, I do have them here. Okay. So the funniest thing happened yesterday in the shop. The funniest thing. So we were we're having our going out of business sale. And, I've got all my racks of earrings up in there. And this lady came in and she bought 4 or 5 pairs. And then she says, "Can I buy the racks?" And I'm like, "The racks?" "Yeah, the racks your earrings are on." And so we made a deal for 2 of my 3 racks, but that meant we had to quick pull all the earrings off. And, there's hundreds of earrings on these things. So I had to pull off about 400 pair of earrings. I felt like I was picking cherries. We were picking cherries and shoved them all in a paper bag, 2 paper bags. So I was thinking tonight I would show you guys just some random pairs of earrings. And if anybody's interested, I'll give you guys the same price, the same sale price I'm doing at the shop, which is normally they're $10 a pair, but right now I'm doing 2 for $15. So that's a really good deal. And it's any 2 pairs you want. So throughout the evening, I'll just randomly pull up some pairs of earrings that I've got stuffed in these bags over here. And if anybody's interested, but we had a lot of folks come in for the going out. I kept saying, if we'd had this many people coming in while we were officially open, we would have done much better. Mr. and I had many, many, many long conversations about what to do. And we talked about me running it on my own. We talked about moving it up closer because it's about a 30-minute drive to the shop. We talked about trying to find a location closer to where we are, so it's not such a long drive. But the reality is all of that takes a lot of money. I mean, it's a commitment of a certain amount of money every single month. And even with it picking up, we weren't making anywhere. I mean, we weren't even making the rent. So I didn't feel like I could put us in that kind of a position. And then I would have to be committed probably 7 days a week. Even if you're not open 7 days a week, you're still doing stuff 7 days a week. I mean, and as it was, with me only being there 1 day a week, I was always working on something for the shop, always. So we just decided that at this point in my life, at this point in what's going on, we just decided we did not want to make that big of a time or money commitment to basically restarting somewhere else is what it would boil down to. I did not have that much of a following that I could say, okay, we're moving to such and such a place and people would come. So it's a done deal for right now. And at least for the immediate future, we've got the website and I'm not even sure. I don't anticipate that going away, but in order for it to stay up, I got to make a lot more sales on the website because it costs me about $55 a month just to keep the website open. And there's months where I don't make any sales at all on there. Now, I think that's going to change a little bit because of it being the only, location, but it would have to be pretty significant amount of sales even in order to keep that afloat. So we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. Now, part of that's my fault because I don't keep up with keeping the inventory up on there and that kind of stuff. I'm really bad at that, as you guys know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But as of right now, as of the immediate future, it's still up and running. So there's that. Okay. Miss Linda, how are you feeling? And that's a whole nother thing. I don't think, did we have a live last week? Maybe. My brain. We did have a live last week. I remember now. But I don't think I told you guys. I had a little incident. I passed out twice within a few minutes of each other. And I was able to go to the doctor during the week. And then I passed out again on Wednesday. But I was sitting right here in my chair, so I didn't fall or anything that time. And so the doctor's a little bit concerned about my heart. I think it's just fine. But she's not quite as confident as I am. So we'll see what goes on with that. They're going to put me on a heart monitor on Tuesday because Monday's chemo day. So I think it's Tuesday I go in and I get the heart monitor put on. Let's just look at the calendar. Nope, it is Monday. Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Monday morning at 9 o'clock. We are going to get the heart monitor put on. And fun, I get to wear it the whole time we're on our trip, which is coming right up. We leave town on Thursday. Miss Morgan and I are going to fly over to Seattle on Thursday. And then everybody else is coming in on Friday. We wanted to be there early so that we could, be there to greet everyone. And so that's why we're going over a day earlier. Karen, we have not had bingo for a very long time. Like I said a moment ago, Monday's chemo day now. And I think I don't know if you were around when I told you a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, had been diagnosed with cancer. And I'm the one taking her to all of her appointments, all of her doctor's appointments, all of her treatments, and doing all of that kind of stuff. And her chemo day's Monday. And so we never have any idea what time we're coming. Like last week, they had a hard time getting things started. It took them over 2 hours just to get it started. And so, it was almost 7 o'clock, I think, before I got home. So we put chemo. We put chemo on hold. How about we put bingo on hold for the foreseeable future? So let's see here. Got us a little bit of a knot. Oh, that must be where I hooked the heel together. So let me get this undone, and then we can talk. So what's everybody working on? Miss Linda, Miss Karen, Miss Amy. What's everybody working on right now? And I'll show you what I'm working on. We have, you guys, I am in love with knitting socks. Isn't that the silliest thing you've ever heard? Absolutely in love with it. So my knit sock project is coming along very well. And then I'll show it to you as soon as I'm done rewinding this yarn. And then after we get back from the trip, we're starting a new round of knitting. And I still can't fathom doing this, but she's going to teach us how to do 2 socks at the same time on one knitting needle. That just sounds like crazy to me, but that's what we're going to do. So we'll give that a try. But she swear, and that's normally how she does her socks. So she says, once you get the hang of it, it's easy to do. And I did not believe at all that I was going to be able to even knit the socks in the first place. So I got to give her credit for that. So I picked out some really pretty pale lavender yarn, which I don't know what I did with it because I put it in a ball, but I have to separate it out into 2 balls. So I'm going to, just like I did with this, with the socks, put it into 2 balls. So I still have to do that. I'm going to separate it out. I think that'll just be easier for me to work with it. And no, come on, there we go. Unfrog. And then, of course, I've got, I just showed you where I had started the shawl that I'm going to, it's actually not a shawl, it's a Ruana. Oh, I just love this pattern. I love the pattern. I love the way it's written. I love the way this yarn is working up, all the things. Doing okay. Stress test scheduled for the 9th. And then an echo. Oh, yeah. So, Linda, that pill's not bothering you? You're not having those side effects that we talked about? Tired. Yeah, that makes sense. Miss Linda's having some issues as well. And, of course, it's not my story to tell. But she's got us scared. Got us running scared. So, Karen, you're not working on anything right now? That's unusual. That's unusual. Had a headache for a few days. Yeah. Okay, so those are starting to go away. All right. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, was the headache on that. That's what I was worried about. Well, you make sure and keep us apprised of the results on all of your tests. And I will do the same. So I go in apparently tomorrow morning and get that heart monitor put on. And I did this one other time many years ago. And we had a machine, it was probably about this big, this square, and I had to wear it around my neck, and it was right here all the time. The one they do now, I guess, is just a little tiny thing, and it attaches to your skin, so you won't even hardly know you've got it on. And I will be wearing it exactly 2 weeks. So I literally get it taken off the day after we get back from the cruise. So the cruise, those of you that maybe remember, we're cruising to Alaska out of Seattle, and the cruise itself leaves on Saturday. Morgan and I are going to fly over Thursday afternoon so that we're there to meet up with everybody. And then the girls all start coming in Friday morning I think the first ones are going to get there about 10:30. Mister's driving over with a couple of the grands, so they'll be coming over Friday afternoon. It's about a 6 or 7 hour drive from here, but he isn't driving, so he's not going to have control of it. Hello, Miss Sandra. He's not going to have control of that. And I also know the people that he's riding with aren't exactly morning people, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, you bought a book on crochet monsters. So it's amigurumi. Kind of not my thing. I've done some amigurumi. But there again, it's really sad when you get a pattern and the instructions are not clear, or they don't do what you expect them to do. Is there a Facebook group about it? Maybe, Karen? I find sometimes those are helpful. The other thing I always do before I buy a book anymore, or buy even a pattern or a book or anything, I go into the Ravelry pages and look and see if people are having problems with it. And once in a while, there'll be somebody in there where you can get help with a pattern. That's the only ideas that I have for you, hon. Miss Sandra, we haven't seen you in here in ages. I'm so glad that you popped in. So glad. So what are you working on these days, Sandra? Of course, you guys know this was, I should have showed it to you again before I undid it all, but this is the Sasquatch yarn. Whoops. That we had dyed up for the shop. Yep. And so it works up just beautifully. And it washes beautifully as well. I've got a hat and a scarf, not a scarf, a cowl, and I washed those up. And boy, were they nice. Super, super nice the way they washed up. Yeah, you don't. You get excited about a book and you just grab it. I understand. I do the same thing. Um, I've been going on eBay here lately and picking up a few books. Well, of course, I don't know where anything is. I got, well, and they're all sock books. They're all knitting sock books. Making washcloths with Mad Mimi. Good, good. Keep those fingers working. Those fingers working. Ooh, I might not be able to keep going now because this is where usually I don't tie off my yarn until I am done with a project. But this one, it looks like I did. Swifter covers. You know, that's funny because when I first went back to crocheting when we were on the road, that was one of the first patterns I found. The first free patterns I found was the Swifter covers. Never did make any, of course, but I thought that was just the bee's knees. Well, that's good. Yep. Yep. Frog in the socks. Frog in the socks. Everybody's frog in the socks. We're still looking for the perfect pattern. I think Dana may have found one. Dana found a pattern that she's really, really having good luck with. And I will let you guys know if it ends up being that way. Because I will see her on Friday. So we get to have, so it's me and Mr. and Morgan. And then another set of grands, Mr.'s oldest grandson and his wife. And Dana. And yeah, they do, Sandra. They really do. And Diane Wright. You guys remember Diane? She was on the show a few months ago. She's the one that has written the pattern. She does patterns that, like last year, she did the ugly Christmas sweater pattern. And then every month you got a different block to do. And she also did the barns, the quilt barns. And she did one of more of trailers. Oh, that's so cute. That's my favorite one. And it is a lot of it you can use with little bits of leftover yarn. So hello, Mama Gwen. And so that's a really good way to use up those kind of bits.
See my spider working?
I'm having food put at me.
It's just ice cream with maybe a little bit of booze in it.
See my spider?
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
She's writing.
Oh, that's good. So yeah, we're still trying to find the best sock pattern. We're trying lots of them. Put this away, my little measuring tape. I won't need that on my next project. Okay, I've got my yarn all balled up. People are saying hello, Miss Morgan.
Hi.
Nobody said hi to me.
That's because you're here all the time. You're noisy. So, let me show you. Okay, so this is the yarn. Remember this giant ball of yarn? And this is the ball I'm working on first. Now they're saying hello to you.
Hi.
You big baby. Oh, shoot. I thought I was to the point where I could just sit and crochet, but I am not. I'm at the thinking part. So the way this works, this pattern, is, it's called the Falling Leaves Ruana. And somewhere in here there's a pattern. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Linda says hello, and Sandra says hello, and Mama Gwen says hello. So this is what the shawl looks like when it's finished. And you can see down the side, it's got that leaf pattern. So that is, you know, why they call it falling leaves. And then all this middle is just double crochets. So it's hundreds and hundreds of double crochets until you get to the edge. And then I'm following the schematic, that kind of a picture, to do the leaf edges on it. And I'm really liking this pattern. Really liking this pattern. And the yarn, it's some that I had got from Knit Crate. And I always planned on using this yarn on this project. So it's the Knit Crate Trellis. Trellis is the name of the yarn. And the color is Tendril, which I think is perfect. And it's superwash nylon. So in theory, this is actually sock yarn, but there's no way I would use this on socks. It's a fingering weight yarn because it is. Let me get to the center of this and I'll show you. I'm just curious. Machine wash, gentle, tumble dry, low. So wash and dry. Can't get any easier than that. I still would not dry it. I don't usually dry any of my handmaids. I will wash them if it says you can, but I don't typically dry them. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see this or not, but this is really interesting yarn because it is a chain spun. It's a chain spun. It's not blown, but it is a chain spun. So it's working up really nice. Of course, there's no splitting. When you have chain spun, there's no splitting. And it's funny because it's almost like knitting with I-cord. So that's kind of interesting because it's a really significant chain spun. I would never have guessed that this was a fingering. Maybe a sport weight, but not, or at least a heavy fingering. But anyway, I love it. I love the color. I love the design. I love the shawl. And of course, you know me, I added to the design so it would be wider. I didn't think it was wide enough. And I think it's perfect, the perfect width now. I added 30 double crochets in the middle. So it's going to be nice and wide. And that's, you know, that's the way I like it. And I remembered to pack my spring shawl that we made last year. I almost forgot, but I remembered to pack it. So I've got my shawl ready to go. And that's going with me. So I'll have something pretty to wear, like in the dining room, or a lot of times it's perfect. It's beautiful weather. In fact, the weather is going to be very similar to what we've got here right now. So they're saying like high 50s, low 60s in the daytime, and in mid to high 30s at night. So you go out on the deck with the water out in the middle of nowhere and you get some wind. It can be chilly. It can be pretty cold. So that's why I thought that shawl would be perfect for that weather. All right, this bag has got to go. This bag has seen its better days. And there's a chance that I have plenty of bags. Oh, look, more yarn. I rolled up all of this yarn when I was getting ready to go on the last cruise. There's another giant ball. And here's another giant ball. There you go. You think that's enough yarn? You think that's enough yarn to get me through one project? And I'm only taking one project, you guys. I know. But the reality is, when you go to Alaska, there's a stop almost every day. And there's going to be a whole bunch of us ladies. Well, didn't finish telling you who was going. So we've got Diane going and her husband. And then another friend who has a yarn store in Oregon. Her name is Jennifer from Green Tree Yarns, and she's going to join us. So there's 10 of us in our group. And I think probably 3 of them, maybe 4, are not super interested in crocheting. But so we'll have a lot of crocheting time, but then there'll also be lots of time doing other things as well. And I did learn my lesson from before not to take too many projects. So I'm just taking this one project. And there's a lot of work on this one project. Hello, Miss Pinky. So I was just thinking, because here's the skein of yarn I'm using. So there's my, it's like a wedding cake, a tower of yarn. So I'm using the smallest one first, and I was going to move to the bigger one, which I still think I'm going to do, because then I won't have to switch yarns very often, which was, the whole point of doing this. And I can't remember if I tied these together when I wound them or if I just wound them. So I may or may not have, but that'll be fun. If I didn't, then I can really keep track of how much yarn I used up. But I think I'll do the big one next. Then as I'm wandering around, I don't have to worry about running out. No. So, Miss Pinky, we don't have, let's see, how can I say this? I did not hear from her today. I did talk to her yesterday. I spoke to Miss Cheryl yesterday. I sent her the link for tonight. There's a chance that she's just sleeping, because that happens once in a while, because, their times are completely different than ours. So I'm not completely sure what's going on with her today. She did get her results back from the doctor. And of course, again, it's not my story to tell. If she gives me, the go ahead, I'll give you guys an update. But she's also a very, very private person. So I could imagine that she may not want to say anything. So there's that. But we've just been discussing the fact that we've closed up the shop. We're selling everything off. Still going to be running, as far as I know, at least for the immediate future. We're still going to be running the website.
Online.
And it's my job to get more and more stuff put up on there. Okay, I feel like I want to have all this extra yarn inside of a bag, inside of my bag. So I think that's what we're going to do. So this is the stuff I'm working on. Oh yeah, this is going to be perfect. So I've got the 2 main things of yarn, and then I'll have all my extra in the box. That'll work. And then this can stay in the room while I'm carrying the other stuff around. But yeah, one project. Can you believe that? I'm going to take one project with me on the cruise. That's not right. Remember that one cruise I took 6 projects with me? Because this was one of the projects I took with me, and that did not happen. So this is this project, second cruise. Okay, so I was going to show you the socks. The socks. Nope, no. You guys, wait till you see what I did. Okay, I finished Morgan's hat. There it is. There it is. Doesn't it look nice? Super happy with it. You guys, I love this. I love doing this kind of, I'm calling it color work because I don't know what else to call it. It's stranded knitting is what it's called. There are people whose stranded knitting looks as good on the inside as it does on the outside. I am not one of those people. There you go. That's how terrible mine is. You guys know I have no shame. I will tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. Here's the really bad part. I got this all finished and went to put it on. Can't even get it on my head. Can't get it down past this portion where I started the color work, the stranded part. So she can't wear it. I could just wear it. I can just get it on. So she cannot wear the hat that I gave her. This is going to end up going one of the little grands, because we can't get it on her head. None of the adults can get on their head past this point, which is so infuriating because it turned out so nice. Such a pretty hat. I did all the blue, and that was the problem. I think that extra third color, bringing that along through the whole project just made it too tight. And I know there's a way to do this because people do it all the time, but I have not been able to A, figure it out myself, or B, find any information anywhere to tell me what it is I'm doing wrong. Because this is like the 4th project I've done of color work like this. The last one was better. I could actually wear it, but here we go again. And I've just got to get this figured out, because I went up hook size because the last one was a little tight. So I went on hook size. I went up a needle size in this one. And so I don't know. And I really like the way it looks. I like the process. I like the way it looks, but I just cannot get this part done without it puckering. And you can, I don't know if you can see, there's a ridge right there sideways. You can see there's a ridge right there of where it was puckering. I just don't know. So today I went to the library. I literally checked out a stack of books like this, and all of them have some kind of color work in it. So I'm just going to dig through the books. I've looked online. I've looked at YouTube videos, and a lot of them tell you how to do it, but they don't tell you how to avoid this problem. And I know I'm not the only one, because it's a very common problem. I've heard it from other people. So that was frustrating for me, because I really wanted, that was a lovely gift. It was supposed to be a lovely gift for her, and now it ends up not at all. Let me put this in that other bag, because it's got, yep, I love this color tape. I've showed you guys this before, this colored tape. Yes, our library is open on Sundays. I took a bunch of books back to them today from the last stack of books that I checked out. And then, oh, Miss Pinky, do you recognize that? Yeah. So here we go. Yeah. But I've just got to, and it's funny because when I go to the library and I'm getting books like that, I check out the whole section. I've always done that. That's always been how I handle things. When I'm digging for resources, I will check out the entire section, because you never know what you're going to find out. Never know what you're going to find out. Okay, I have something to open. And normally I would do this in an opening video, but I decided today, because I just got it a couple minutes ago, and who knows when I'm going to get another video made, but I decided today we're going to open this together. I know what it is because I remember ordering it, and it took quite some time for it to get here. Okay, so you can see this box is very, very well packed. And I'm kind of afraid to poke anything into it. Okay. You may not get this open. It is completely and totally wrapped in brown tape. Completely. And since I don't know what the packaging underneath looks like, I don't even know where to work on it to get it open. Here we go. So I ordered this from Etsy. And I knew it was going to take some time to get here because in theory, this is a handmade item. I'm not sure. That's one of the reasons I ordered it, was to check this out. And if this is good, man, I'm going to tell you guys to check into this. Because, oh my Lord. I thought we could just slice this open. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I mean, I packaged my stuff up good, but this is ridiculous. I think I'm on layer 3 of this tape already. Oh, I got an edge. I got an edge. Oh, I can see the light here. See the light. Okay. Now, I believe, going from memory here, and y'all know how that goes, I believe this came from India. I believe the young man that I ordered it from was in India. That's why I knew it was going to take some time to get here. And that's also why this thing is wrapped up so good. Okay. We're getting closer. Getting closer. Whew! We got the top open. Yay! I think I need some applause. Okay, got the top open. No papers in there. I thought it might have the person's name on it. Okay. Now we've got tape, more tape. More tape.
Styrofoam.
That's the styrofoam. Layer 1 of styrofoam. More tape. Layer 2 of styrofoam. Oh, I can see it. I can see it. Oh. Okay. All right. This is what I ordered. Supposed to be handmade, and I believe it is. It's a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. I know the lighting is not fabulous. Let's try that. There. Is that a little better? Okay, let's look at the end. Okay, the end is the style that I like, where it's got a nice sharp end on it. I'm going to have to measure this because here we go again. It does not go straight. It starts at the top and then it goes wider. So it may not be the correct sizing.
That you want.
That it needs to be. And here's the problem. This centerpiece, of course, in the picture was beautiful. And in real life, it is cloudy and it's got marks through it. Yeah. It's a good idea. Now, I have seen these hooks sell anywhere from $80 to a couple of $100, and they are beautifully done, beautifully well made. Now, to be fair, I paid about $25 for this. Let's go. In fact, let's go on to Etsy and look, see how much I actually paid for it, because I saw that and I was like, this cannot be a real thing. How can they sell these at this price? I don't know how to find my history on here. Home. Because usually right away they start sending you, rate this, rate this, rate this. Saved. Maybe it'll say it in my messages. No. Shipping notifications. Here we go. That was. Oh, yeah. Here we go. So it was. The name of the shop is Star Handicrafts IN. So probably India. Come on, go bigger. This is the picture that was on the website. See how pretty that pink is and nice and clear. And this is not at all the way that looks. Not at all. But currently this is on sale for $19.77. So, and I know I paid about $25. Takes about a month to get here. And the reviews are all saying about the same thing. When I bought it, it didn't have any reviews. So I took a chance. You know, for $20, $25, I took a chance. He's got a lot of other pretty ones. See, all bubbly and marbly looking. So I'll play with it. I'll do some crocheting with it, see how it feels. The wood is not as slick as some of the other. Yeah, the wood is not slick at all on here. So I have a feeling it's going to catch the yarn. But we'll see. I will give it a good try. I will absolutely give it a good try because it's pretty. It feels okay in my hand for this style of a hook. And I kind of wanted to try this style of a hook to see how it felt in my hand, if I was able to work with it. And go from there. That's a 3.5. 375. That's a 3.5. What size is this one? I think this is a 5. Yeah, this is a 5. So this is supposed to be a 4.5. This is supposed to be a 5. Ooh, there's a big difference. There is a big difference there. I'm going to have to really dig out a 4.5. or dig out one of my crochet hook measures. Can you guys see that? Can you see the difference in that sizing on that? And that's only half of, yes, that's exactly right, Sandy. It is pretty. And if I hadn't seen the picture, I would say this is very, very pretty. It is not as nice as the picture. But for the price, like I said, in the $20, $25 range, this is amazing. And that included shipping. I'm a little concerned about the size on that, because this does not seem like there. Because the brown one is 4.5 and the middle one is a 5. That seems like an awful big difference. I'm gonna have to dig out my measure and check that out. So I will reserve complete judgment, because look at how beautiful these are. If I can open this up. Look at this gorgeous thing. I mean, these are just beautiful hooks. The epoxy. That's what it is. It's the epoxy on here that's unusual. So we'll see. I bought it specifically so I could see what it looked like and show you guys. And this is the exact one. 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, $20. So, you know, $20 for a hook. We'll see. I'll give it a try on some yarn and see how it feels. And I will definitely find my measuring tool and measure that, because I'm really having a hard time believing that that is only a half a size difference from this. It just looks way, way different. It could also be that we are used to a certain kind of thing, a certain kind of a way on our hooks. And maybe over there, their tops are different. Maybe their tops are smaller, but then the throat is the correct size. We'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely going to give it a fair shake before I recommend or don't recommend this. Because if we can get gorgeous handmade hooks in that price range, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any kind of a warranty. You know, there usually isn't on something like that. But, and that head looks like it could snap off pretty easy because it's really small. But it's so pretty. Yeah. So that literally showed up at my house a couple minutes ago. And that's when I thought, oh, I'm just going to open that up tonight and we'll all look at it together. So there's that. So what else? Am I supposed to show you anything else? I showed you the sock. I showed you the hat. Oh, I didn't show you the sock. I showed you the hat. So I don't even remember if I got to work on my sock very much this week, but this is where we are on the sock. And of course, I need to compare it to the finished one. Need to compare it to the finished one. So we're that far down, and I've got to go to, where do we start the heel? You go to about right there before you start the heel. I'm supposed to have this finished when we get back from the cruise because we're going to start that other style. I have a feeling that's not going to happen, but I'll be darn close because I'm not, you know, it's a crochet cruise. There won't be much knitting going on. And And I'm going to, on the ship, I'm going to be focusing on the Ruana, because that's going to be way easier to work on. Like I said, you don't have to pay attention to anything, just and until you're at the end. But before you get to the end, it's just lots and lots and lots of, whoops, see, now I dropped a stitch. Lots and lots and lots of double crochets. Dropped a stitch. Okay, I caught it. I caught it. I caught it. I definitely want to, I have to get figured out how to do that stranded crochet, stranded knitting, because that's how you add the pretty designs into these socks. And I definitely want to do that. Definitely. I've got about 20 pairs picked out that I want to do. Can you, on that stack of books right there by the knitting machine, I think it's the bottom one. Would you look at it, please, and bring it to me? I think it's the Color Work Sock. I think that's the name of the book. So I think it's the very bottom one. No, you have to show it to me. Yep, that's the one. So this is the book that I'm in love with. It's called Color Work Socks. And I got to bring up my phone so I can see what you guys are seeing, because everything looks so incredibly dark on my screen. Okay, let's try that again. Color Work Socks. Yeah, okay. But I'll tell you, look at this. Look at this design. With the chickens, and then can you see the toes look like eggs? I think there's a better picture of the toes. Yeah, there's the toes. So there's the top with the chickens. There's the top with the chickens, and there's the egg yolks on the toe. Isn't that just too cute? And every single of the socks in here are just, here's swans. I think those swans are super pretty. Oh, I love this one. It's called Blooming Lavender. Can you see it? I'm trying to get to where he's there. Yeah. And I think a thing with these is with that hat, there was like the whole thing was one big chunk of stranded, whereas these, you've got just like this much of it. And so look at these pretty roses. And I think that's going to make it be easier. I don't know. And some of them are like this one on the top, you know, almost the whole thing has got the color work in it. This one is, I don't know if that's going to be the same with the stranded, because it's, can you see it? Every time I show something, the screen goes completely black on my end. So I can't tell if you guys can see it or not. Oh, this one is cute with cherries. It's called Cherry on Top. I like that one a lot too. And there's one that has orange slices all over it. Oh, of course, my personal favorite, the hearts. I love that one. And see, that's going to be a ton of color work. But that's almost like knitting with two colors at the same. Oh. Bats. Love it. So I have got to get this figured out, because there's just so many things that I want to make. So many things. I've got to figure this out. I know, right, Sandra? They're all beautiful. I can't figure out where to put that. So, yeah. So I've got to figure out how to do that. So this is the year of learning. I say well, actually, that's not true. I was going to say I say every year I want to do that, but I wanted to learn how to make socks, and I feel like even though it's not that one I did buy, that one I own, Linda. And that's kind of what I do. I check books out from the library to see if it's something that I would like to have, and then I buy it. I got me that one I got for my birthday. And I got 2 other books. One is called 52 Weeks of Socks, and there's a volume 1 and a volume 2, and I got both of them. I had seen on YouTube, I had seen somebody talking about that book. And then I found somebody that had interviewed the author, and she was talking and showing all the different pictures. There's one, I'll see if I can find it. But of course, she showed that chicken one. I've got my yarn tangled up on here. She showed that chicken one, and I knew I had to have the book just based on the chicken one. But then there's another one that I really like. Let me get to it. Get to the end of my row here. Okay. And let me see if I can find it in here. I think it's just called, I think it's called Coffee Break. Yep, that's it, 84. I really like that one as well. So I'll be on the lookout for yarn that'll work for this kind of a color too. But yeah, I've got to get that figured out, get that process figured out. Miss Linda, you need to come here and teach me how. I was going to show you guys a few pairs of earrings. Oh, there's my yarn that I'm going to use. This is the yarn I'm using for my next project, for my next sock project. It's a light lavender, kind of a medium purple color. Super pretty. And this is the Cascade Fingering Weight sock yarn. It's called Heritage. I've got to get that ball separated into 2 balls so it's ready to go. But we literally filled up paper bags with earrings. I don't even know. Oh, those are cute. There's some Christmas ones. There's some fall ones in here. I'm trying to pick up a handful without wrecking it. This is so funny. So what did we grab here? Oh, this is cute. Holiday wine bottles. Wine bottles with holiday lights around them. This is coffee cups. It's supposed to look like Starbucks. It does not say Starbucks. These are snowmans, and these are super lightweight because they're kind of made out of that kind of like foam almost. Oh, and here's another one of like that. This one is pumpkins. It's not that long till we have pumpkin weather again. Hey, Susan. So I must have grabbed a handful out of the holiday bag, the holiday section. This one says Pumpkin Spice Witches. So that's a kind of a Halloween one. Fall. I love these. Oh my gosh. Here's one of my favorites. Little ghosties with their pumpkin and their coffee and their hats. Their little hats. They're ready to go trick-or-treating. And for my Starbucks friends, this is the pink drink. Super cute. Oh, here's some cows. I thought they were Mickeys, but they're cows. Cows with their Santa hats on. Love those. Oh, these are beautiful. And you can tell these ones are longer. Just silver, and now that's not real turquoise, of course. That's fake turquoise. And every one of these they're all the same price. I keep everything the same price. So you don't have to go, oh, I like that one, but this one's $2 more. Some little bicycles for the summertime. Love that. So all of these are $10 or 2 for $15. Some pumpkin pies. I like those. Do you guys remember the movie Christmas Story? You'll put your eye out. There's the little box. It says Fragile on it. So funny. Some more pumpkins. These ones are on that wood, so these don't weigh anything. Just nothing. Oh, these are cute. Little tiny. For those of you that like small earrings. Teeny tiny little filigree hearts. And these don't weigh anything either. These are super, super lightweight. Some more Halloween ones. It says, trick or treat, smell my feet. I know the pink drake is super cute. Oh, if you like the scary stuff, there's the mask from Scream. Oh, these are pretty. I should take these on my trip. Starfishies, little blue starfish. If I can get past the Halloween and Christmas stuff and come up with something. These are little tiny teapots. Aren't they cute? And then they've got a little bead up on top. Oh, love these. A couple of long horns. And these are made out of leather, so they're super lightweight. And it's furry leather. It's even got the fur on it. Okay. Got any bowling fans in the group? Got the. And for my, is that soccer? Soccer or volleyball? I always get them confused on these earrings. These are super pretty. The silver tone with the little blue beads and feathers. These are really lightweight also. But see what I mean about having a really good blend, a really good mix of things? Oh, these are interesting. I love these ones. I cannot believe these haven't sold at one of my craft fairs or something. They get twisted up. That's why I don't like having them in a bag like this. They're little sweaters, little handmade sweaters. Again, really lightweight. For my retro peeps, that's the Kodak, not Kodak, what were they? The instant cameras. Were they Kodak? It seems like it was a word that started with P. I can't remember. Polaroid. The Polaroid instant cameras. Now for my art lovers, some Van Gogh earrings with a couple of different pictures, different paintings. Oh, these are nice. Beautiful, beautiful, brightly colored Africa maps. Yeah, Polaroid. These are really unusual. They're sort of a hand-drawn outline of a face. And I have these in 3 different colors, I think. Real different, abstract-y. For my campers out there, all the little camping designs. These also are very lightweight. Oh, I love these little silver turtles. Another pair of coffee ones. This time it's with red with snowflakes. Another teapot. This one's, I got 3 or 4 different teapot designs. This one's flat, where the other one was a regular round teapot. These are really nice, especially, I think the young girls like these. They're, get it turned around. Get them turned around. Blue glittery angel wings. These are a little bit long, but they don't weigh anything. And I think Miss Linda bought some of these at Christmas. I'm trying to remember. There's my soccer ball. No, this is the volleyball. The other one was soccer. This is the volleyball. I've got these in silver and gold tone. There you go. Now you can see it. So that's just a sample of the many hundreds. Ooh, these are pretty. There's some fancy ones. There you go. There you go, Pinky. Pink fur earrings. Pink fur earrings for Pinky. So that, like I said, is just a drop in the bucket of all the earrings. And again, I'm gonna give you the same price that I'm giving my people that come in the store. Oh, I'm so glad the girls love them. So they're $10 a piece or 2 for $15 right now. Got to put these in bags, and I'm going to put them in a container. Then it'll be easy to. Let's see what's in the other bag. Got a whole nother bag of them. And whatever that is. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Got a little bit of Kahlua. And, oh, here's your coffee ones. So these one actually say Starbucks coffee on the side. Love these. Hot tamales. Hot tamales. And these are, I don't know what this candy is. It says Pockies. I know it's some kind of a candy, I think. Oh, wait do you see this? Another Starbucks one. These are the canned drinks that you buy at the store, the double shot Starbucks. And also, come on. What flavor is this? Coffee. So the iced coffee in the bottles, this one is coffee flavored. I think I've got vanilla and mocha too. These are cute. Little jars of Nutella. You get a lot of teachers that buy these food ones. The kids really enjoy them. And I've got bacon. I've got bacon and eggs. And I've got pancakes. Pancakes and syrup. Opaki is a Japanese treat. Hello, Miss Deb. Yes, you've got to get your sweater done. Here's an iced coffee. Whoops. We're just showing off some earrings. Here's an iced coffee. And Coca-Cola. And this is made out of metal. So it's lightweight, but they're really, really cute. And these are for Miss Deb. Miss Deb. There's your fancy margarita drink. Yep.
Cayman Jack.
And I love these. I'm not sure why it's on this kind of thing, but it's Hello Kitty on a coffee cup, and you can see the coffee on the top there. There's the coffee. So if you're a Hello Kitty fan, little summertime ice cream cones. Here we go. Some more Starbucks. This one is really special too. So you've got the regular cup of Starbucks coffee, but look. On the top, there's a heart in the foam. These are fun. Little candies. Oh, tacos. Tacos. And another Coca-Cola. This one's a little bit bigger. This one is, it's not plastic. It's, I can't think of what to call it. It's kind of a, it's softer. It's not like hard plastic, but it's a little softer. And you've seen me wearing these ones. I have these ones also. My great big coffee cups. Because I need a big cup of coffee. I've got Skittles. I've got Doritos. Here's a Kit Kat bars. Oh, this is fun. Anybody who does a lot of baking. There's your mixer. It says, "Bake the world a better place." Those are sweet. Oops, all tangled up here. And also in case you were wondering, the ear wires are sterling or stainless. So if you've got a sensitivity, you'll do okay with them. And I can make any of these into stitch markers also if you want, if you'd rather have that. Is that everything? Here's one. Nope, the coffee one. So that's just a little sample of all the, and I didn't even get to show you any of the dogs or cats or plants or all that kind of stuff too. And if you pop over to the Instagram page, there's several pictures of them listed on there. Because it's easy to take a picture and pop it up there, where it's harder to get it uploaded onto the website. And those are the kind of things I will probably list on the We Imagine page. Oh man, now I'm all tangled up here. But at this point, I probably, of finished ones, I'm probably in the 900 to 1,000 range of how many earrings sets I have. And plus the materials to make at least that much more, if not more. I've got honeybees. And just like always, if there's anything, oh, and I still have some sugar skulls. I've got smaller ones, little bitty ones, and some that are a little bit bigger. If there's anything that you're interested in, I either probably already have it, or if not already made up, I probably already got the charms to make them. I've got some specialty ones that I literally had the charms made for me to make earrings and stitch markers out of. I've got those packed away though. I'll have to, when I get to them, I'll show them off to you. Good night, Miss Sandra. Thank you for joining us. Miss Deb is making a beautiful sweater that she's going to be bringing on the cruise with us. And it's very, very pretty.
Maybe I can model it.
I feel really bad. The only crocheted item I'm taking with me is the shawl. And then, like I said, the hat that was a bomb. That didn't work out the way we planned. Got to get that figured out. You know, I just remembered that Morgan's got a sister-in-law who's a really, really accomplished knitter. Maybe she can give me some tips. But I'm just going to keep watching videos and keep reading books and try to get this figured out. And somebody told me to knit it inside out, which I remember trying that one other time and my pattern ended up backwards. So somehow I messed that up. And I don't think I will juggle 3 colors again. That was a lot. That was a lot. Two's pretty easy. But with that 3rd color, I ended up having to, I had about 8 bobbins hanging off of it. So I was working with those. But I was thinking, I wish, oh, what's her name? The gal from Oregon who homeschools and raises the chickens. Doris. I wish Doris was in here because I was thinking about her today. I was thinking about with the shop closing, I feel like I'm going to have a little bit more time to actually work on my projects. We'll see. Because I also am now going to be spending time uploading everything, taking pictures and uploading things that are for sale, and hopefully making sales and sending off packages. So we'll see about that. But I was thinking about Doris because last year when I did my video about how I track the things that, not really track, but what am I going to work on today? What am I going to work on next week? I need to go back in and redo my list. Well, you know, did I do my list this year? I feel like I didn't. I feel like did I do a list? I don't think I did a list at the beginning of the year of what projects I had planned on doing this year. So it's time to do that. You guys are going to be really surprised at how few whips I've got going. Really surprised. I'm going to have to dig out my calendar and see what I'm going to move forward to this year. I already know because of Dana's video, I already know I'm going to go back to, I want to do a solotch. I want to do this shawl. And then there's another shawl. If I could get 2 of the things on that list of 4 that I put in her video, I'd be really happy. Oh my gosh, I just thought of something else too. But, and then I've got the Sophie's Universe, and I did a row or 2 on that recently. Loved picking up and working on that again. Loved it. And I still have the baby's blanket that I've got about this much done on. But see, that's one of those, like Deb was saying, I can't do that while I'm sitting here visiting with you guys. Because there's every bit of it is counting. So I have to count across that whole thing, at least until I get a few rows into it and maybe have the pattern more down. But at least at the beginning, I got to count every little chunk of it. What else do I got going around in here? I had given a friend of mine yarn to make for her to do a Sophie's Universe, but her hands are so messed up. She ended up giving it back to me. She wasn't able to do it. So that's what's in that bag. And I'm not sure what's in that bag. Oh, I still have that Christmas stocking that I started. And I got that special crochet hook. I might be able to get working on it. That could also be one that I take out and rework it. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. Because I'm farther on it than I thought I was. So yeah, I'm going to have to. But anyway, the reason I was thinking of Doris is because we had talked about how I schedule this day I'm going to work on this and this day I'm going to work on that. And I have a couple cross stitch projects that I want to do. One of which has a deadline. I don't think I've got any deadlines this year. I'm trying really hard not to have deadlines. And I did that last year and it worked very well. I had sock deadline only because it's basically homework for sock class. But I knew I had a couple of deadlines for early this year, but I hit those deadlines. I had to get this hat done. Well, I got it done. Does that count? If I got it done and it's unwearable, does that count? It's still a finished object. I've got to do some ends on it. I'm still going to block it and then put in my ends. And we've got a Grand that's about 6, and I think she'll love it. Linda, it depends. That's always an ongoing question. How, what do I decide to work on? Like for instance, right now, Monday is chemo day. So I take something with me that I don't have to count, that I don't have to follow a chart, anything like that. So the sock is perfect for that. And that's kind of been a problem. I really haven't had anything small enough that I could take with me, like a car project or anything like that. But I like to have something small or portable that doesn't really require a lot of counting or attention to detail, that kind of thing. And then I usually have, so that's for sure going to be Monday. Chemo day will be socks, unless I start getting into those patterns where they're like some of those color work ones where they're way more difficult. So, and then I have to figure out what do I have that I'm working on that has deadlines. And as of right now, just off the top of my head, this pair of socks is the only deadline I can think of. And then I usually set aside one day for an alternative project, like my cross stitch. Now my cross stitch sort of has, because it's a gift, it sort of has a deadline, but the people don't know they're getting it. So if it's late, they won't know it's late. Could end up being a Christmas present for all I know. And that may well be the case. It could end up being a Christmas present.
Is that a pair of socks or one
This is
sock?
the second of my pair of socks.
Mm.
So the first one, where's my first one? Here it is. This was the first one. It's totally done. And now I'm working on the toe of the second one. So I'm that far along. I'm getting close to where I'm going to have to stop and do the heel. Now, when I stop and do the heel on this, I won't be able to talk to anybody. And you basically have to do the whole heel uninterrupted or you're going to mess it up. I remember that from before. It wasn't hard, but you had to pay attention because there was counting. Lots of decreases and you had to be you have to keep track of it. And then I kind of juggle things that have deadlines. And then, like I said, I'd like to have an alternative day for cross stitch or stuff like that. And then I just kind of, if I'm trying to, and usually Friday is finish it Friday. So I try to work on a project that is a whip or maybe it needs finished work to put it together. So like, for instance, Finish It Friday would be a good day to work on Sophie's Universe. Because she's been hanging around for a couple years now. And I really enjoy working on it. But it's also not super conducive to taking with you because you change colors every row. Well, I don't. Other people do, but it's a different stitch every row. So you got to kind of pay attention. And some of them work up real easy and some of them there's a lot of counting. At one point I was thinking, okay, every Friday, and this would be a good thing. So every Friday, and of course, this is all without looking at my calendar. I commit to doing one row of Sophie so that at least every week I'm going to get one row done. And, that's a really good plan. I look at my weeks and I kind of figure Monday is chemo. So I have to have something that easy. Maybe Wednesday, I typically have this. Saturday, I worked at the shop. So if I took something with me, it had to be something I could pick up and sit down. Like a granny square project is perfect for that. Or something where you have to go back and forth to the bookstore. Yeah, either on the bookstore or Susan, there's usually a lot of used ones. Go check out on eBay, see if you can find a used copy. I also know if you guys have if you have a Barnes and Noble, Susan, you can order it on their website and they'll just mail it to you. So I kind of figure out how my schedule is, although anymore there's no figuring with my schedule. So, and then I usually have one day where I don't plan anything, so I can use that as kind of a makeup day, or like for instance, my Sundays typically are fairly low key. I don't usually have appointments on Sundays. I don't usually, I'm not gonna have a doctor's appointment. I'm usually not gonna have a meeting. So typically I have my morning open where I can work. I could crochet for 2 or 3 hours uninterrupted. It's quiet around here. That would be a time, especially in the morning, when I'm more aware, more sharp, when I'm sharper. So I could work on something where I had to count, or something that was more complicated. Plus, we've got really good light in here in the daytime. In this room, the light in here is really good in the daytime. And then there's the other way of doing it, which is what most normal people do, which is you figure out what project you're going to work on and you work on it till you're done. I kind of don't understand that concept. See, like for instance, if I did that with these socks, I would get bored to tears doing nothing but going round and round and round with this basic stitch. Now, when I get to the more interesting socks, that could be a totally different story. But I can work on this for 2 or 3 hours and I've got to do something else because my mind is just blah. But this is a good travel project. This is going on the plane with me. Maybe. This may not go on the plane with me. My crocheted leaf might go on the plane with me, especially if I'm at the point where it's just the double crochets all the way across. Yeah. I'm in Spokane, Washington, Susan. We're in the Pacific Northwest, the beautiful Pacific Northwest. So I still like the idea of Finish It Friday or Whip Friday. And then last year, I even broke it down to where one day I had to work on a whip. And then, another day it could be a new project. But I'm still plugging away at all those whips, plus all the new projects. And I got a stack of yarn sitting over there ready to make my muscle burl hat that we talked about last week with the leftover fingering weight yarn. But I saw it wasn't a pattern exactly. Was it a video or a blog post? I don't know. I saw something where the guy had taken all of his leftover yarn and just did a crazy stripe sock. And so, obviously they didn't match. So, and it's also time to start thinking about Christmas. We've got two groups that does a Christmas draw, and neither one of them have done the draw yet. We were supposed to do that the other night at our dinner.
Oh.
We didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to really push them to do that next month. Because I know there's 2 of us that usually make something for their people. So we're both going to need time. I still have people texting me to ask if we're having... we put a thing out on Facebook. and it said going out of business sale. I put the exact time and date, and people will text me and say, is this available? Is what available? If you want to ask me a question, ask me a question. And it clearly states on there that it was last weekend. People are funny. People are funny. Sophie's Universe is very pretty. I would say it's not difficult because it's such a well-written pattern. There are a couple of rows, and I think I'm on row 40-ish, but there's a couple of rows that I couldn't quite tell where I needed to stop. And so, yes, Susan, you need to go look at my last video. Posted Sunday morning, I think. Sunday or Monday. Yeah, Sunday. Saturday, Friday. I don't know. A couple days ago it posted. I did it all in one color because, as you guys know, I'm color challenged, and there's just no way I could come up with 14 different colors. I could now. I've grown that much over the last year or so with dealing with color. I could have chosen colors now. And there are a few rows that if you were doing them in multiple colors, it would be easier because you go back and you pick up stitches from 2 rows prior. With everything being one color, it's kind of hard to see that. And if everything was a different color, it would make it much, much easier. You could almost, Susan, do that out of scrap yarn, at least several rows of it, because, the first however many rows, you're not using much yarn as you go around. My friend that was going to do it, she was going to use 3 different colors. She was using burgundy and gray and sort of a forest green. So it was going to be gorgeous too. And she was going to do like 2 or 3 rows of each color and then switch it off. So I've got that project sitting over here in my front living room. But I also know I want to make a sweater. Cheryl hooked me up with some fabulous yarn, and we picked out a sweater pattern. And I want to make that muscle burl hat, and I want to make all the socks in the world. And I have a feeling at some point, big twist would be great, especially if you've got some different colors. I've got about, how many colors did we pick for that project? Morgan and Batman and I were going to do this one blanket together, and we bought the yarn for it. And I want to say I picked out 5 different colors, coordinating colors, so that would work really well. If anybody, and I know there's not many people in here now, but if anybody is interested, on Wednesday, I'm going to be at the shop Wednesday afternoon. If anybody's interested in seeing what yarn I have left that is on sale at the shop, and it's 50% off at the shop. That's not the Cascade, but the other stuff that I have at the shop. I'll do a walkthrough with you, or we can, maybe I'll post some pictures. I can do that. I can post some pictures in the bingo group, the bingo, not Facebook. What is it? Messenger, the bingo messenger group, RWR bingo. I'll post some pictures in there of what I've got left. And if anybody's interested, let me know. There's some really, really nice yarn in there. And there's some very basic yarn in there too. I have several of the shawl in a ball left. Shawl on a ball. And I even have some of the shawl on a cake before they switched it to shawl on a ball. And those are $5, I think. Going from memory. I have some of the Lion Brand hand dyed. There's some loops and threads, and I've got some, and I don't remember ever seeing this, but I've got some Red Heart Chunky. It's really, really pretty. It's a deep burgundy color. Every time I see it, I think, I need to bring that home for a blankie. Ooh, I bet it'd make a wonderful sweater, too. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll take some pictures and I'll post them in the RWR Bingo page. And then, because I think everybody in here has access to that. And then you can look at that and see if there's anything that you might be interested in. You know, we can have a conversation about it that night and I can pull it for you. But so that's what's going on. So, so, okay. So we leave here Thursday. The gang's getting there on Friday. I'm sure we'll have a quick little pop-up on Friday to say howdy to everybody. Maybe even just when we go out to dinner. And then on the ship, internet on the ship is really bad, but every port we stop in, it's Alaska. So I remember from before, my phone worked just fine. And I did a couple of pop-up lives before, and it was wonderful. So I will definitely be doing a pop-up live when we're in. I can't even tell you what time it'll be or anything like that. All I can tell you is I will be doing a couple of pop-up lives. I just printed out my thing. Maybe our schedule's on here so I even know what day we're going to be anywhere. Oh, here we go. All right. So we get to on. So Seattle's the 12th. I got to write these because they've got the dates, but not the day. So this is Saturday. This is Sunday. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know we won't have internet on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday. Okay, so next Saturday we get on the ship. So we might be able to do a few minutes that day before we leave the port. Sunday we're at sea all day, so there'll be no connections there. Monday we are in Juneau, but we don't get there till 2:30 in the afternoon, so I'm not sure about that. Tuesday we're in Skagway, and we're there all day, so I might be able to do one that day. Wednesday we'll be on the ship. Thursday we're in Ketchikan from 7 in the morning to 1:15. Is that the day I've got? Yes, and Mr. and I are going to a lumberjack show that day. So that's going to be fun. And then Friday, we're in Victoria, BC, and I booked high tea at the Empress Hotel. I'm so excited. I think I'm looking forward to that. Other than seeing all of my friends, I'm looking forward to that the most. So there'll be a couple of opportunities for some lives. And I'll try to put out a reminder on the, what do they call that? The page where I can put stuff. Anyway, I'll put that out there. If I know in advance, I'll do that. So who's going? Me and Mr. and Morgan and his granddaughter and wife, and then Dana and Miss Deb that was just in here a minute ago. She's working on her sweater to wear. And Diane Wright, who you guys know from, she's got some patterns on Ravelry. She's got some beautiful patterns, and she's a friend of the group and has, I met her at the first Yarny Social that I went to. And then Jennifer, who owns a yarn store in Oregon, it's called Green Tree Yarns. And then Diane's husband. So there's a total of 10 of us going. So yeah, it would have been nice if we could have got more people, but I understand finances, it's not in the budget for everybody. But and definitely, I mean, the cruise itself isn't horribly expensive. We picked one that was more reasonable, but excursions in Alaska are very expensive. Very expensive. There's a lot of things where for Mr. and I to go do something for a 2-hour excursion, it'd be $400. So we honestly are not going to do, we've got that lumberjack show and I've got the high tea at the Empress, and I'm just doing that. Mr.'s not interested. That's the only 2 excursions we booked this time. So we'll walk around the cities. We are, so our goal is to hit, I know Juneau has a yarn store. It's a combination yarn store, fabric store. So I could be in real trouble there. And then Skagway has a yarn store and they've got a yarn store and a quilting store. And I'll tell you what, you guys might remember, that's where I got the idea for the peekaboo bags. Isn't this one adorable with the Highland cows and stuff? But that's where I got the idea for the peekaboo bags, was at that store. I saw one there. I actually bought one, but I completely revamped the pattern. I made it bigger and better, and I did a better job with the finish work and stuff. So, but that's where I got the idea for that. And then they've got a really nice yarn store. Really nice. Last time they wouldn't let me film in there because there's a lot of patterns and things like that they didn't want us filming that. But I can take a few still shots in the store and then we'll show them to you later. And then there's another yarn store that we're going to try to go to, but I'm not sure if they're open when we're going to be there. That's part of the problem. You got to hit those things when they're open, and that's not always the case. And I looked in Victoria. We don't get into Victoria until 8:00 at night. And so there's those kind of things aren't open. There's the things that are open are made open special for the cruising. And there's little neighborhoods that are like neighborhood shopping areas, that kind of thing. Downtown tours. So in fact, this is the first time I'm even getting off in Victoria, because normally it's so late. We just go to bed, but because it's like 8 to midnight or something like that. Well, what is it? Yeah, 8 to midnight. And then our excursion is literally at 8:15. So we get right off the ship, and they put us on probably a bus, and then take us to that hotel. And then we're there for 2 hours. That's a 2-hour. So probably we'll have the tea and then get to walk around and look at the sites a little bit and then come back. So, and if I'm tired, I can always take an Uber back to the ship. If the tea gets done and I just want to kind of get back on. And sometimes that's what I do when we do those things. Especially, I'm not worried in Victoria. I'm not worried about safety. Like some of the places we go, I would never leave an official excursion and make my own way back to the ship. It just wouldn't happen. So we'll see how this one goes. But 2 hours, and it's probably a 20-minute or 30-minute drive to the hotel and then back. So we'll see. I'm excited. Very excited. I'm about half packed. The kittens were helping me pack the other day. So
Me too.
that always happens. And I bought a new pair of jeans to take with me. Boy, you guys, I hit a sale at Old Navy. If you've got a chance to get to an Old Navy, I've never bought jeans there because they didn't usually have the bigger sizes, but they do now. But I got a pair of jeans, and they were regularly $30, which isn't horrible. And then they were on sale for $22, and then I got 30% off. So I ended up getting jeans for like $15 because I needed a new pair of jeans because mine are getting snug. And the one pair that I wear the most, they've got that elastic stuff built into the Lycra. And after the second day, they're so loose, they're about falling off. So, And there is not laundry facilities on the ship. You can pay to have your laundry done, and boy, do you pay. But
Eat your orange.
there's no place where you can just go do your laundry. There is on the Carnival ships, but not on Norwegian. So you have to pack accordingly. The other good thing is they don't exactly have a formal night, and even in their main dining room, it's much more laid back than on the other ships. I could go in there with just black jeans. I could just go in there with my regular jeans and a halfway. I wouldn't wear this shirt in there, but I'd wear any of my sweaters and be just fine. There's a steakhouse that we're going to go to one night, and you do need to dress a little nicer in there. But again, I think the biggest thing was we couldn't wear shorts, and we couldn't wear
Other people were.
and we couldn't wear like flip-flop type sandals, but you could wear dressier sandals. And there's one dining room where they won't let you wear shorts, but other than that, the other ones, even that you were okay with. So I'm excited. And I'm very, very happy to be
Hungry.
taking a
It's in front of
A
the
vaca-
microwave. I'm going to bed.
good night. Quit talking to me. Quit interrupting. We need a break. It's been a rough year. And it just happened that my friend's chemo, she's on a 3 weeks on, 1 week off rotation. That's the week she's off. So I didn't even have to find a substitute to take her to chemo that week. I've got a friend lined up with all the doctor's numbers and things just in case, but she doesn't have any doctor's appointments while we're gone. And then the day after we get back, we'll be back to chemo. That could not have worked out better. Susan, I want to see a Spider-Man shawl. Everybody's saying good night.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah, it's late for him. He worked hard yesterday and today. Boy, I slept in this morning. Of course, I didn't get home I worked at the shop all day yesterday, and we worked hard. And then I had the theater last night, and the show was really long, and I did not get home. It was almost 11 when I got home last night. I was beat. I went right to bed, and I slept in till 7:30 this morning. And boy, I did not do much today. Let me tell you, it was a very, very down day for me. Not down, like depressed, just I didn't get a lot accomplished. I did some laundry, did a little more packing. I printed out our documents. I made up the luggage tags. I went through the library books and earmarked a couple of patterns, way future patterns, and cleaned out my knitting bags. I have 3 project bags. I needed to clean them all out, and I got to get ready for knit group on Wednesday night. So yeah, it was, just kind of piddling around here doing a whole bunch of little things that have been needed to be done for a long time. So that was that. But oh my gosh, it has been so nice visiting with you guys tonight. Be looking for, like I said, I will post that yarn, pictures of the yarn that I have left on the messenger, the RWR Bingo Messenger, because everybody's got access to that. And we've got, I don't know how many people we have in that group. I don't know if this will even tell me. No, it doesn't tell me. Doesn't tell me, but I know we've got several people in there. But all of you guys have been, we're in the bingo group, so you should be able to get to it, no problem. And so I'll post those pictures on there. And if there's any of the yarns you're interested that's in our clearance at the shop, I'll honor that clearance price for you. So it's everything's half off the market price. And then if you want any of the earrings that we talked about today or that are listed in the Instagram, or I'll do the same thing. I'll take a couple of snapshots of the rack I've got left so that you can see if there's any earrings there that you guys are interested in. Because, yeah, you guys are my peeps, so you deserve the same sale that everybody else is seeing. The people who never bothered to support us or never bothered to come into the shop at all until we're closing. Yeah, so okie dokie. We're going to call it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Oh, yeah, 2 hours. Usually I keep it right to an hour, but I guess I had a lot to say tonight. Please keep Miss Cheryl in your prayers. She definitely needs it. She's got a lot going on at her house. And thank you so much. I will. I know it's so hard to connect with her. And she's, it's funny because even with something like this, she's got to get this thing planned out and get her drops done and get where she needs to be. So because she can't pack until she goes home. So she's got to go home and pack and be ready to go. I think she's trying to get home by Wednesday. I think that's what she said, because then she'll have Thursday to pack and then get on the plane Friday. If there's anything special you guys want to see, drop that message in the messenger and I'll do my best to get pictures of stuff for you. Even if there's something special, you like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to pick up such and such in Alaska. Let me know and I'll do my best to get that picked up for you. And then I can always mail it off to you. My grandson wants some salmon and I know they have it in cans, and they also have cans of their crab, their Alaska king crab you can buy in a can. I have no idea how much it is. I've never bought it because I don't do seafood, but I know people love it. So, anything I can do for you guys, those of you guys have been the ones that have been supported me, have supported me and stuck by me and helped me grow through all these years. And whatever I can do to help you guys. Okay. All right. I'm going to see you later. Bye. Obviously no sit and stitch next Sunday night.